WildChild, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Feeling great. It's a good day.
Good to lock in with you, man. Seen you at your show the other day.
For sure. That was a good show. I appreciate Dark Envy. This is the second show. They brought me out the second time. That shit was lit. Good crowd, good energy. Everything was lit.
So you be rocking with them boys? So you underground Atlanta?
Yes, for sure. I just transitioned to the underground stage.
So where'd you transition from?
I was making music, soul music. I was making music, telling my story, telling people about the shit I've been through, but it was more so like on a melanizing type of tone. So
Like
I just switched it.
Rod Wave type shit?
Yeah, you could kind of go on a Rod Wave type of tone for sure.
Okay.
I listen to Rod Wave too. Shout out that boy Rod Wave, he hard.
So what made you hit the switch?
Cause like the switch really is like it came with I started getting a different energy type of vibe when I was going around different people and just seeing shit, going to shows, and it was just a different type of love and different energy from the fans, like the applause. So it's like I tried it out, and the fans appreciated it, and everybody told me to go with it, and it's like it fitted everything I was doing, like my drip, everything, like it went right along with it.
So you basically get more accepted. You know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Telling your story from the streets.
I wouldn't even say like rock star. I say rock star, but I call myself a pop star. I say hood pop star. But I say more so like hyper pop, like not on the like dark side though, because you know you got the dark, you know, on the dark side, and you got the light side but I'm like really telling the story, like the street shit with it. So it's like the combination is crazy.
Kind of like your own lane.
It's crazy.
So like, what was the first song? The first pop. What you say? What you call it again?
I call it hyper pop.
Hyper pop.
Yeah.
So
music.
What's the first hyper pop song that you made that the folks was going crazy to?
The first hyper pop song was Hood Pop Star. Hood Pop Star for sure. When I came out with Hood Pop Star and I got the reaction that I got, it was like, it's time.
So where were you at when you dropped Hood Pop Star? You been in the city for a minute?
Yeah, I've been living in Atlanta, going back and forth. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, Crown Heights. Got it on my face, Crown Heights greatest, St. John's. I'm from St. John's, Crown Heights. Like I was in New York. I recorded the song in Atlanta, and I went to New York and dropped the audio, and I end up getting a cameraman from Philly to come down from Philly and shot the music video, and the reaction that I got from the music video, I shot the shit at a radio station in New York, Hot 97, and the reaction that I got from them millionaires was just like, what? Like, oh yeah, this is what it is. And from that day and from them situations, it's just like everything just started making sense.
So how long ago was that?
All of this happened like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, the longest.
When you moved from New York to Atlanta?
I originally moved from New York to Atlanta like 5 years ago, 6 years. But I had some run-ins with the law. So it's like I kind of was incarcerated more than I was just outside. So originally my release recently is when I really popped out to the city. Like I've been in the city way more, outside networking. Like I've been home 15 months now, in the city strong, like meeting people, running into people, label A&Rs. Like it's been going up, like up.
So tell me about the trouble you got in. Like when you got in trouble when you first moved to Atlanta.
Like yeah, I got in trouble when I first moved out here.
And then you had to go sit down and do some time.
Yeah,
it was that kind of trouble.
Yeah, I sat down. The first time I sat down for 16 months. I did 16 months. I came home. That was county time.
Was that the first time you ever been incarcerated on some shit?
Yeah, that was my first time. Like that was not my first trouble, but that was my first time getting like some time I had to sit down. You feel what I'm saying? I did 16 months and everybody else was free. All them niggas told on me, fuck y'all niggas too. I know y'all niggas still be watching too. Y'all niggas some hoes and rats.
So they told on you was doing like some hot shit or like?
Yeah, we were doing some hot shit. Like armed robbery. I had an armed robbery. My first charge, I was facing life.
And you got 16 months for armed robbery?
No. Hell no. That sound crazy.
I was about to, you already know I was about to say, what you was telling?
Hell nah. See, listen though. The way this shit went, it was multiple niggas in the shit. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you the number, but it was multiple niggas. But
it was like a group assignment type shit.
I was the oldest nigga. I was the only one 17, so I went to the county jail. Everybody else went juvenile. Them niggas got out with bonds. I'm the only one getting my bond denied. I sit down 16 months. We go to court. All these niggas telling, but the victim end up saying, hell nah, it wasn't even him. It was him. But him telling on me. So now what they do is they drop the armed robbery to robbery and give me time served first offender and give me 10 years paper and time served 16 months. I go home with 10 years paper and I ain't get credit time served till my 10 years started when I left the door. For sure.
So 10 years paper, you on 10 years on probation?
I had 10 years probation for regular robbery. They dropped it down to a robbery. Robbery only hold 5 years.
Okay.
So they gave me 10 years on that with the time served for the 16 months. And all the other charges, the kidnapping, the gun shit, they dropped that because they never found the gun. So they couldn't give me armed robbery. So no, nigga did not get 10 years probation for armed robbery. That shit don't exist unless you talking. I'm telling you, I've been there.
For sure. Because I just interviewed a dude. He just got out, did 9 years for armed robbery.
For sure. That shit hold a 10 years mandatory sentence. But then I fucked up the second time when I got sent down the road for the other shit.
You did something else after you. So you did that 16 months. That was your first 16 months. You came back home, and then you got sent down the road because you still had the probation suspended.
Yes, exactly.
And then you got caught up on just some wild shit.
I got caught with the glizzy.
That was all you had on you?
I had the glizzy on me on the way to a video shoot, man. Shout out Shot by Kid, man. Shot by Kid, that's a cameraman from Atlanta. I started with him. He was a photographer. Started shooting my videos. Me and Kid was on the way to a video shoot. Got pulled over. I had the glizzy on me. Took my time. Went down the road. 3 years. They gave me 5 years and 8 months. They suspended my probation and tried to give me the whole time plus my gun charge. But I went ahead and took the 5 years and 8 months. But they gave me credit time served for the time I did on probation on the street. And then I only had to do 3 years on the 5 years. And then I went down there and went to my classes and shit and got my time knocked down. And I came home on parole, a year parole. And I just got off parole, so now I can finally get the fuck out of Atlanta. And whenever I want.
Man, salute that shit, bro.
Out of
here. For real.
Every chance I get, I'm out of Atlanta. Since the new year, I've
been seeing you been on the move type shit.
6-7 flights out of there. LA, New York.
But that goes to show you've been on your grind type shit. Because you just got released type shit. It ain't even like you've been out here working this music shit. You've been over here sitting down plotting on this shit for a minute. That's why you keep saying. And a lot of people don't know. Your time coming. Like you just popped out of nowhere, but you on a different type of time.
Different time. Everywhere. It's like, it's so strange because it's like every time I pop out, everywhere I go now, I run into people or I run into situations that I already see myself getting into or like knew I would already meet these people like. And it's regular, like it's to the point where it's like, this is where it's supposed to be. Like, this is what's supposed to happen, but it just come with the energy and how you stepping and how you moving, like, and it's the shit that I didn't understand before. And it's getting colossal now, like.
So what's some lessons you took out of there that like kept you solid these last? How long you been free? You said about a year now, right?
Yeah, I've been free like 15 months now.
Okay, like what's something that's really been holding you down, or something that you learned in there that you've been utilizing out here on the streets?
Patience, like life evaluation. Sometimes things ain't gonna make sense, but you gotta just have patience. You gotta evaluate every situation, cause sometimes you gonna see shit and it'll like knock you off your pee a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta get back on that pee and get back sturdy and get back right. And that's what I learned from prison, cause it's like, being in prison, you at the bottom of the bottom, you at the lowest. You gotta call motherfuckers to get money unless you went in there up. But you still gotta have niggas to do shit for you. So it's like, being at that bottom, it make you understand like, bro, you gotta like cherish every situation. So it's like being out here, having the shit and doing the shit I do is like, I cherish it so much because I know I didn't have this and I gotta appreciate this shit because it could go so quick. And it's like, that's the biggest lesson I learned. Biggest lesson right there. And then coming home to the shit that I came home to, the situations and the things that continue to occur, like that continue to motivate me, man.
So you really just been out here grinding your last 6 months type shit with the music, found your new sound, and been working it.
Been working this shit. In the studio every day.
Okay.
Every day. Working this shit. I got a studio at home. I learned how to record myself. I didn't know how to record myself at first. Learned how to record myself.
So tell me about that. Like as far as learning how to record yourself, you was on YouTube with it?
No, that came from like going to the studio and just sitting next to the engineer and just watching him. That's all it takes. You just pay. Not everybody got good like skills to just like pay attention and learn. Sometimes you got to be like physically taught or continue to be taught. But I just paid attention and just learned that shit. And went home. I got the same program at home that's at the studio. So that shit just makes sense.
So basically, when you be in the studio, you be paying attention. Like it's more than just you in there recording. You in there watching the engineer, seeing what he doing, how y'all can work better.
Hell yeah.
Type shit.
And all my engineers, when I go to the studio and I work with my engineers, me and my engineer record my music and edit my music together. Okay. I don't just sit there like I'm the engineer too. Like we gonna do this shit together, and that just come with like the genuine bond. Cause you can't do that with every engineer. Some engineers just straight by the dollar, so it just be what it be, you know. But that's why I don't work with everybody.
Fact. So any projects coming up?
It's projects. I got projects right now that could be released, but it's like the way I'm going with the project situation, I'm gonna go more so like I'm gonna keep giving singles to build my catalog, to keep giving y'all 150 WildChild, to keep giving y'all the sound and get y'all familiar with what's going on. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and release the project with no release date, no warning, nothing, just project. Here y'all go. Okay. Because now it's already too much that you hearing and you like, okay, here you go. Give you a combination of this shit for everyday listening. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Now your last song you dropped, you got a little buzz off that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I went grind time.
So how did you get your buzz?
Promotion outside. Shout out Quan Shot It in Philly. That's my cameraman from Hood Pop Star. Them boys generate some shit, send a million flyers, hard copy flyers to me, straight to my doorstep. I go outside with a million hard copies. Break it down into different cities within Georgia, not just Atlanta, because Atlanta is just one city itself. A lot of people don't know that be from out of town. I had to learn that shit being here. Like Atlanta is just one city. You got different sides of Atlanta. You got, it's like New York, you got boroughs. You feel me? This shit big.
All right, so get into that, bro. Tell me about like, as you from New York, so break Atlanta down in New York terms. Like as far as how the city laid out.
How I understand it. Because I'm not from Atlanta, so I don't really try to like get into Atlanta too much because I know what I know from what I know and what I be around. But the way this shit like, it's similar to New York in some ways to understand it how you want to understand it. So like Atlanta is its own city. So Atlanta got different sides. You got the west side, south side, east side, north side. So that's how that go. But then you got Georgia itself that got the south of Georgia, you got the north of Georgia, you got the east of Georgia. So this shit spread it out. So now I get the flyers, a million, and I break it down within the city of Atlanta because that's the high populated, lit, music, fashion, everything. So I'm going to get 50,000 to 100,000 just in Atlanta on the west. Then I'm going to put 50 on the east. I'm going to go 50 on the, that's how I'm going to do it. Then I'm going to go country. I'm going to put a couple in the country and I'm going to put a couple on the north. And that's how I break this shit down. And I go physically meet people. And when I give my flyer, can I take a picture, get into the Instagram, might have the speaker playing my music, and I get acquainted with people. And that's how I build my fan base. And the Instagram and shit like that. Just really going outside, shaking hands, and on Instagram showing love. Like that's another thing. Like you gotta be on Instagram showing the love that you trying to get shown. Cause if you don't show love and support yourself, you can't be out here just thinking that shit gonna pop up. It don't work like that.
Right. So tell me about the tattoos on your face.
The tattoos on my face.
Yeah.
That shit is like the main question that's asking me. Like I meet people. The first question, why you got, but it's like a lot of people, you got the people that's attracted to it, then you got the people, the females that's attracted to it, then you got the females that's like, whoa, hold on. But then you got certain people that look at me and just be nervous as hell, but it's like, that I don't give off that energy. So it's like, these shits came from prison. I got a lot of tattoos on my arm, my face, my neck. I got these shits down the road. One needle from a fucking spring from a pen. And a white boy gave me these shits with a patch on his eye. He had one eyeball named Patch, man. That man got a life sentence, free patch. One day he gonna get a pill. I know he is. That nigga talented as fuck, but he gave me these tattoos on my face. And these shits was like, I got these shits in a hard and dark time of my life. And it's like, I got it with a conscious, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't really care what people thought. And it was like, everything that I got on me is like meaningful. I could tell you what it mean. I could tell you what it mean to me. And it can make you feel, or it can mean something to you. So it's like, this is me. You feel what I'm saying? So that's how that goes. Still go to corporates. I didn't have a 9 to 5 with these tattoos. People don't even know that. You get 9 to 5 with tattoos on your face. I did it.
With
25 an hour.
Them tattoos you got on your face.
25 an hour. I had a job. 9 months. Working. Slaving. Tattoos. White people. In the office with my own key card. For sure.
Cause I ain't gonna lie to you, when I met you, I was a little nervous. I'm like, man, this nigga got all these tattoos on his face, man. I don't do the tattoos. I don't got no tattoos type shit. So I be trying to figure out what be going down, what make you get the tattoos and shit like that.
That shit nothing, bro. You got niggas with tattoos, that's pussy. You got niggas that got tattoos on their face. They don't even know what the fuck they got it for. They mad they got it. That shit don't mean nothing. Like, but then you got them real stand up steppers that got tattoos, and you know what I'm saying. So it just go both ways, but it's just about what come off the tongue. You know, that's what I'm a firm believer that the tongue is the most powerful muscle in your body, the most powerful thing on your body. You know, your tongue can control everything. Like, you say something, that shit come into existence. You feel what I'm saying? Manifestation. So it's like, a nigga had tattoos on his face and start talking like a white boy and be black. You never know. So that tattoo shit don't mean nothing.
So your next song you dropping, you already know what that is?
For sure. Loading. Right now. Finally lit. The video is already done editing, but I had to send the audio back for one more mix. So that should be back today. Like, after this interview drop, I could possibly drop the video. So it's like that lit. And that just be like me not trying to rush things, because it's like, now it's not about coming to the studio, making a song, and just going to shoot the video and just dropping it no more. It gotta be something that, like, I'm trying to really catch these folks, like, get there for real. And last, not just get there and just be chilling and take a couple pictures and be there for a minute and I'm a nobody. I'm trying to get there and really make that stand. So that's how I'm coming.
Facts. So where can these folks find you?
You can find me on Instagram, 150 Hood Popstar, 150 Hood Popstar. You could go look me up on all streaming platforms, 150 WildChild. That's 150 WildChild on all streaming platforms. I'm gonna keep dropping, I'm gonna keep stepping. You're gonna see me at a lot of shows, a lot of pop-ups. I'm about to get into the fashion, modeling, really get into this shit for real. Like, I'm into it already, but it's like, every day is just progressing. You gotta keep stepping, you gotta keep going out. Just like you keep going to work and clocking in, and your check grow from your hours, you gotta keep doing this shit every day. Keep getting on the clock, lock in. That's what's going on.
So what's your plans for this year?
Dropping music, talking to a couple labels right now, but it's just not rushing the process, bro. Just keep growing as an artist, keep growing as a person. I'm a dad now, so it's just like bigger plans than just me now. So it's like just the biggest elevation, everything beneficial. My family, myself. That's what's going on. That's the plan.
So how many kids you got?
One son.
One son?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
24.
My son is 4 months.
Okay.
It'll be 5 months tomorrow.
Okay.
For
so
sure.
What's something you done learned as far as being a dad?
Man, teaching my son my mistakes to not make my mistakes. Keeping it straight, raw, uncut, so he know what's going on in his world. You feel what I'm saying? And just being there behind him, supporting whatever steps he decides to make, but not letting him decide to make the steps that I know not right for him.
Okay.
And that's what's going on.
Can you say things have changed since you had a son? Like your motivation, your drive is different?
For sure. Since I had a son, it's like, I know now, like, you know, when you understand life, you know this shit not promised. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, every day you gotta value that it's another person. Like, this is me. Like, this is my reflection. So it's like, you gotta step and you gotta move. You can't lack on it. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta give it 150, and that's that 150 TNL. That's where that come from. Okay. And that's what I give it to the child. That's what I give it to my son. Like, I can't lack on him. I gotta make sure I'm there, 150. And it's like, if I'm not there, if it's a situation that's stopping me from not being there, I gotta make sure I double back on that to make sure that double back be right. So that situation is like, okay, it was missed, but this is greater. So this is why it was missed, because this had to be done. This had to be situated in order for this to happen. And that's what's, you know, a part of being a mature dad. I had to learn that, and I'm still learning that every day, though. Just like life.
All right, man.
All right. 150 WildChild, man. Y'all know what's coming. Yeet. One more time. Great. 150 WildChild. Y'all know how I'm coming. Yeet. I'm fucking with Street Sauce TV, man. We got the sauce in the streets. Y'all come fuck with my boy. Come fuck with my people, man. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on everywhere. All streaming platforms. 150 WildChild. Hood Pop Star. We checking in. We locked in. Going up viral.